Hey, teachers, it's lesson 192 of the Prep for Life Prep podcast series. We were lost my wing. We're at the title of this one is Education for the Whole Soul. We want our students to be thinking about their future, and for sure, we want them to continue their religious education as well as their education for their vocations that they will be in, various ones. So, Brother Wing, let's get this one. How would we set this life prep lesson up? What can we do to get our kids engaged in this one?
Yeah, so bring your biggest, toughest student up to the front of the class. Hopefully he's like really big, really strong, you know? And then you have like a small person in the class try to push this kid over, and it doesn't work.
I like the physical confrontation of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then have the big kid stand on one foot and then have the small kid push him over, right? Hopefully it actually works this time. And assuming nobody gets hurt, this is a great object lesson.
What does that object lesson teach?
Yeah. So get some balance. And so the kind of idea here is their educational balance here. We talked last life prep lesson about the importance of education, and it's true. But without the spiritual education as their first priority, they could end up being off balance and squandering the potential benefit of any secular education that they get. And so I think a great scripture feasting place to go is 1 Corinthians chapter 2, learning by the Spirit. In fact, you could possibly, even in this case, without very much prep at all, just say, look, students, we're going to talk about balance today, but the reason that we're going to talk about this is the principles that are taught in 1 Corinthians chapter 2. So check this out. It's a short chapter. Like, look at it. That's a good one. Another great chapter to look at potentially is Alma chapter 34, and go to that one and talk about spiritual education and the priority there. Of course, you've got that great quote from President Eyring in the middle of your teacher manual, where he says our first priority should be spiritual learning. It is clear that putting spiritual learning first does not relieve us from learning secular things. On the contrary, it gives our secular learning purpose and motivates us to work harder at it. So we're actually going to be better at secular learning when we have this balance and put the priorities in their place. So then from there, it's got this natural application. So once we've established that point, they've studied 1 Corinthians 2, and or Alma 34 or some other place that you think is good, then we can say, okay, so what are your plans for the future? And when you go after high school, what help do you have to keep this priority of spiritual learning? And so basically, you've got group scripture study available to support your personal scripture study, and you're really going to have it anywhere. And so you may go to a church school like BYU, BYU Idaho, Ensign College, something like that, or you might go to some other university, and anywhere you go, you're going to have institute classes or essentially group scripture study for young adults. And these are great options to support your life balance and keep things in the right place.
Yeah, especially here in the United States, your students, all of your students, you can help them know that they will have an opportunity wherever they go to school. And wherever they go to school is great if they're furthering their education, but their religious education can take place, like you said, wherever they go. There's institute classes everywhere. I've got a young man in my ward that's going to a podunk little teeny university in a little teeny town. And guess what? There's an institute class 15 minutes away from him. And so um, I think this is a great way to get that on their minds. Like, hey, this religious education thing isn't just something I do, it's something that's helping me become something, just like how when I go to college, I want to become a doctor or whatever I'm going to become. Religious education is gonna help me become more balanced as well. Excellent. All right, Matt. All right, next one's coming up is 193. Thanks, teachers.